every chef has their own unique characteristic. I would say that being a chef takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of art in what dish you're gonna put out. Sometimes you don't even see the chef, you don't even know who made it. But then when they bring out their food, it talks a lot about them, talks a lot about their personality. Even me, when I put out the food, I'm putting out my personality, I'm putting out my heart to the food. So you can describe a lot about how it looks like, how it tastes like, texture, appearance, everything. So basically, serving a food is really about the life of a chef, the heart of the chef towards the food.
I never knew I wanted to become a chef, but I always knew I loved food. I would grow up watching Food Network over Cartoon Network, and I would always search for recipes and try them at home. So I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Paris, and after that, I trained in the kitchens of Joël Robuchon and John George. And it's not like what you see on TV. It's not glamour, it's not easy, but it was fun. It was working with a team that was very close together, and it was serving food at a high pace.
高校卒業後、レストランに就職して、料理の道に入りました。
I wanted to try the culinary business or industry because my mom has been bugging me to become a chef or become a cook, since I was in college. So after 6 months, and I decided to try it out. Great job. We just opened last week and we got so many good reviews.
Ever since I was a kid, I had a passion in cooking. My mom cooks a lot in the house, my grandma, and my grandfather would always cook for me, and I realized that helping out in the kitchen was really something that I always wanted to pursue. And growing up, I really strived to have that career. And so when I got to CCA, that's when I discovered how creative I can get in my food.
Initially, I was studying art and photography at college, and part-time I was working in a fine dining restaurant as a waiter, and I'd see the chefs creating beautiful food, and I got interested that way, and I actually spoke to the restaurant and said, look, I'd rather join you guys and come into a career like this. So yeah, that was the start of it.
To business school at the De La Salle University, my heart was not there. I had to convince my parents to send me to culinary school in San Francisco. So from there, I never really looked back anymore.
For the start, mahirap talaga. Nandoon yung kailangan mong mag-start na magbalat ng sibuyas, magbuhat ng kahit ano. Kailangan mong pagdaanan lahat ng hirap. Like I said, kung hindi mo dadaanan yon, you will not become a chef talaga.
The food always interested me. I always like to see ingredients of food, what they are in, and always investigate it. So, but then to develop a product, we needed to know how to cook. That's why I started to learn also how to cook and became a chef.
お客様が喜んで帰っていただく、喜んだ顔を見るのがすごい好きです。
I get my inspiration from the food I've eaten from growing up, because I believe that food is a means of retrieving memory. And by eating food, you remember the same emotions you've had when you first had them.
If you keep your eyes open, you can be inspired by anything. It could be a street vendor, it could be a fine dining restaurant, it could be a casual concept. I think there's inspiration everywhere.
Mostly my mom was my main inspiration. And she was the one who really pushed me to try out culinary, even though it was kind of late for me, for my age. And she said, follow your heart. If you love what you're doing, just do it. I think my mom was my main inspiration.
Sa pagluluto kasi ang nanay ko kasi siya yung naging executive chef ng restaurant, ng Japanese restaurant since 1970. Doon ko nakuha yun.
Of course, my mom is my inspiration during that time. Pag nagluluto siya, kailangan nandoon ako.
When chefs spend so much time trying to get the flavor correct, and then you add that to the amount of time they spend trying to get the plate correct, it can certainly be considered a form of art.
There's a lot of chefs that cooking special dishes, in pastry or even in the gelato. They're trying to do the perfect dish, and this is really, really art. So you have to do every procedure on time, correctly. So this is, of course, it's art. Not everybody can do it.
The tomato, it has only one flavor at its peak, right? Now, if you try to break it down, sometimes you grill the tomatoes, it gives you a different flavor. If you crystallize the tomatoes and then you grind it up and turn it into in powder form, then you have something like a tomato powder, right? Just by one tomato itself, it's already a form of art because you change the form of each ingredient, its function, and then you present it in a way wherein it's just a simple tomato, but it's really about understanding that ingredient, right, and changing its form, and then presenting it back in another way. And before you know it, the person who's about to eat it is like blown away by something. It's just the humble tomato.
For me, Eastwood is something that there's a lot of restaurants that's born in Eastwood. Chefs that are not even known are born in Eastwood, and I'm one of them. I started here, and next restaurant I'm gonna put up is also still with Mega World, and I believe that they really take care of their chefs, their restaurants, and they really push them to be big one day.
Well, the first time I went to Eastwood, the first thing that came to my mind was the sense of community. It has a strong sense of family and community. I would see families walking around the park or around the mall, their children and their pets. It's very homey. So that's a good thing about it. It makes you feel at home.
It's just offering so many things here in this very, very diverse new area. And the beauty about this is the customers are game with whatever Eastwood has to offer.
Looking back, I would always tell people that if you really want to be great, you have to give up a lot in your life to follow your passion. I believe in any profession, you have to do that. But being in the food business is very hard because you're relating with people, you're feeding people, and you have to know what you're giving them.
If you love what you're doing, if you have passion for it, just do it. Just go and do it.
It's a bit of a cliche, but the amount of work you have to put in sometimes to be a chef, I'd say if you work hard, you play hard. So don't get too caught up in the work. Keep a balance. Yeah.
When people think about a chef or how they work, they only see what they see on TV. But what they don't know is that being a chef is very hard work. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in the kitchen, and always trying to rush for the next order so customers don't have to wait for a long time before the food comes out.
It's the ability of the chef to turn a simple, noble ingredient into something that would literally blow them away. Sometimes they don't connect. That's why we get bad reviews. But sometimes when they connect with the customer and it touches that little on-off switch in their body saying that, wow, I totally understand what you're doing. Then, you know, that's when you say, you tell yourself that you've done a great job.